Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons and Marvel Multiverse RPG. So, I run Dungeons & Dragons, and I love Dungeons & Dragons, but I am beginning to run Marvel Multiverse RPG in my Dungeons & Dragons slot. And today, I don't want to bury the lead here. I want to let you know what this video is about. This is about my first Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, Session 1 of a new Marvel Multiverse role-playing game campaign. I'm running it, and what are the details of that? I'm running it in FLGS. I'm running at movie length, so it's a 2-hour session, 2-hour per session length. I'm using Legos to represent combat positioning of all player characters and non-player characters, all characters and entities. And we are running it in a friendly local game shop, so it's a public game, and that's a big deal. I think, if, by the way, you have the freedom to run your Dungeons & Dragons game any way you want. Gary Gygax gave you that freedom on day one in 1974. We still have it today, but the best way, I think, is an FLGS, because you're showing the world what can be done, and I think it's not easy. There are a lot of challenges to it, but I really am proud of every FLGS game that I run, and I think I think a physical book game at an FLGS is the premium way to run Dungeons & Dragons. Wait, Scott, aren't you running Marvel Multiverse RPG? I am. However, I really believe, so Gary did it in 1974. He made Dungeons & Dragons, and he made a tabletop role-playing experience that you can use to answer real questions and to achieve goals, right? And I think Marvel Multiverse RPG, because it has Gary Gygax's name on page 2, it has Dungeons & Dragons written directly on the cover, and it has Gary Gygax's wisdom on every page, brought there by Matt Forbeck. I really think it is the inheritor of Dungeons & Dragons and is the second tabletop role-playing experience, something that escapes the orbit of being a game. I don't, in my humble opinion, only fools think Dungeons & Dragons is a game. It's so much more than that. It's like, it'd be like calling the Coke factory a lemonade stand. It's just wrong, right? It's not correct, right? The Coca-Cola factory. So let me give you the deets, right? And just some of the deets. I'm just going to give you a little bit about it, but I was so happy. One, it was fantastic. And get this, it was fantastic, and that was the worst game of Marvel Multiverse RPG I will ever play. And the reason why is we had one book, right? People literally shot their character sheets on their phones and played the player character sheets of the Marvel people they played from their phone, right? And literally 5 players and 1 GM, 6 people at a table sharing one book. It was brutal, right? From the infrastructure of it, but the joy of it was transformative. It was so good. So first of all, my Titanium player, always at the table, my greatest supporter, and I'm so thankful for him. He's the kernel around which everything always coalesces. I know that when I'm ready to run, he has never. I don't know if I don't know when he's going to say no. But I say, hey, this is my idea. I'm ready to run. He's like, yes, let's go, right? And then others coalesce around him. And I hope you have a player like this, right? Your forever player who. And actually, I can't say forever player, because there may be a day where he says, no, I don't want to run, I don't want to play this. But forever, to this point in history, he has said yes and has been my greatest facilitator as a dungeon master. And I pray that you have a player that's this persistent and powerful and awesome, right? And I'm so thankful for my Titanium player. He played Wolverine, okay? And then my Acacia player played Carnage. All right. But I only allow villain play if something has made them heroic. So Carnage had the person who was in Carnage taken out and replaced with a detective, a New York detective, which I thought was really cool. And he was getting inspiration from Blue Bloods for that detective, which is very cool. So a Carnage powered hero. That's the best way to put that. Then we had Storm at the table, played by female character played by a male person, which I don't take that for granted anymore, right? Like it takes courage to say I can understand another gender and to do it well, and this male character did do it well, and I thought, Storm is an African queen, right? Like, and this guy is not African and not a female, and he still, I felt like, really embodied an African queen and did an amazing job with Storm, right? I'm so proud of this fact. We had a mixed gender table. We had a female player at the table, which is incredibly, it's one of the things I'm working on most about being a dungeon master, is being able to attract humans of all genders, right? And so this is a mixed gender table. I was extremely excited about that. And this female player chose to play SpiderGwen. And her real name is Ghost Spider, right? We all know her as SpiderGwen, but nobody could call her that in world because it would show her hidden identity. And then last, the Storm was played by the Iron player, and my Magnesium player played Hulk, rank 6 Hulk, right? And it was amazing. It was such an incredible session, and it was our first session, and it was just like, hey, we got the book. You pick a character in the book, and we go, right? And to be clear, Carnage was not in the book, right? And so we used Venom's stats, right? And the rules are tight as a drum. It is such a great system, and frankly, the combat runs much faster than Dungeons and Dragons. One of the reasons why is there isn't a damage roll. Like, when you roll to hit, you have your damage roll included in that roll. That literally cuts the number of rolls in half, right? And I cannot tell you how much speed and momentum that gave the session, and it is phenomenal. So I really feel that Marvel Multiverse RPG is the full inheritor of everything that Gary Gygax gave to Dungeons & Dragons, and is the sister game to Dungeons & Dragons. And if you are a dungeon master, get yourself on Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. It will help you understand Dungeons & Dragons from Gary's perspective. It is truly incredible. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.